Well, welcome to the podcast.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Well, thank you. It's a privilege and an honor to be here.
I know.
Thanks for asking me.
I'm excited, though, because I love you.
I love you too.
And you're like the perfect person for this topic. I know you chose the topic, but you're just so full of wisdom, and
Oh my goodness.
I just love you.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited.
Thank you. Gosh, that's big. Thank you so much.
I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite Bible verse that you love?
I actually have several that I love, and I was listening to your podcast with Rebecca, actually, and she had mentioned, I kind of have a few, and then you said, depending on the season of your life, sometimes that can change, which resonated with me because I've had so many through all of my life. With the stuff going on with Mike and his health the last couple of years, it's been really different. Just my focus has been mainly on joy and faith and navigating all of this with wanting to have all of that. So I've had several. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. That's been a favorite. Corinthians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ. That's been something I've used to put it when I was, racing on my arm, when I'd go running or triathlon or something. For Mike and I, our family verse is Proverbs 16:9. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And that was before, life, things happen. That's just something that if we make plans, whether we're traveling or, going to school or whatever, that we have to make sure we do it in a way of saying, God willing, that we want to make all these plans, but God ultimately will determine what's actually going to happen, and to always be mindful of that. So that's our family verse, but I have so many. So I'm kind of just that. I do. Your mom's was what, Joshua 24:15.
Yeah.
As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's in our home too. And then 1 Thessalonians 5:17, pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
And that's in our home. And I like having scripture in the house, because everywhere you look, you're looking at scripture and applying it to your life, or just being reminded of what God is asking us to do, or if there's something going on, you can just be reminded of how we need to live. My other one is, I have so many.
That's good.
So many.
That's good to have many.
But since the last few years, it's been, Psalm 23 is great in the whole Psalm 23, but Psalm 23:4, where it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death,
that one's always,
I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And I just think about all the stuff that we go through, and the dark stuff, the broken stuff, the bad choices, where thy rod, he's constantly protecting. That's to protect us, and the staff to bring us in. And especially since the last few years, that has just been something that I think about and dwell on more. But the whole 23 is amazing for me.
Yeah, I love the Psalms.
And I so just, much. But that part, and a lot of people think that's just kind of dark, but it's not. It's just about, in this world, we're going to have trouble, is what he says, and we do, and we will. And I just like to focus on those things that in my life where I can just glean what the word is telling me, where God's leading us, and what he wants us to do, and how he wants us to handle things. So all of that.
I love that. Oh, it's good to have multiple. I feel like, not that you should have multiple, but that means you're reading the Bible and you're,
I think just applying.
Yeah.
And then, going through all these situations, it's good to have.
Oh yeah.
To lean into everything, and to
I
have
love
the
the
word.
Psalms. The Psalm, I always go to them especially when you don't know what to pray, or you're thinking all these things. I don't know. It's just such a calming resort to go to, just to, or even if you're wanting to pray, just to go through them, and it's a prayer. Obviously they're prayers, and they're just you can read them, have a prayer to read, and then you can reflect on them, and what we've been doing that in like interning at Mount Lake, we've been going through like the Psalms, and one of our pastors, Ben, will like send us in the intern chat like the Psalms that we're reading that day or should be reading that day, and like what he got out of it. So it's kind of like guiding steps for us. But yeah, I like the Psalms too.
Yeah, I do too. And sometimes we don't know what to pray, or you don't have the words. Just reading that, some of those can be helpful and get us through and stuff. So yeah,
that's good. I like the like what you're saying about like God willing, like making plans. I always say that with Jevin, even with like having kids. I'm like, well, God willing, like if we have kids, because I know like some people can't have kids, or they like assume,
Yeah, you said that yesterday.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, when we were talking about that, or just in things in general, which I feel like there's a hard difference between like, being hopeful, like, oh, next summer we can go do this, like, having plans for the future, and not being like, well, I mean, but it might not happen. That's kind of like, what's the word, like disappointing or not being hopeful.
Right. Yeah.
So there's like a fine line between like God willing, hopefully, but still being hopeful without being like, well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
God probably doesn't want it to happen, or it's not.
Yeah,
but to be hopeful,
like depressing
and faithful.
Yeah.
And say, because I think God wants us to. He wants us to make plans, but He wants to be part of it. But He's also letting us know, going down the road, it might change a little bit.
Yeah,
and we have to, stay faithful and just have Him lead us down that road. And if it works out that you're able to do the plans that we've made, then that's because He willed it and planned it.
So true. That's so good. Yeah, I had some lists of ones that I liked. I had typed it. I used ChatGPT a lot, but I typed these ones into into ChatGPT and then had it like list them off for me. But so I remembered them. But one of them you had said, where is it? Oh, Jeremiah 29:11. Love that one. And then another one is Isaiah 26:3-4. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord Himself is the rock eternal. And that just says like God offers stability and peace even when like circumstances are unstable. And I just like, I don't know, I really love that verse. I love all verses that like just give like, because there's so much anxiety and like, like in this world, like I deal with like anxiety, and it's just like, I guess fear of the unknown is so big. And so like verses that just like bring you back to like the truth and stable you, and just like don't fear, like lean on me, not your own understanding. It's like it's like a breath of fresh air when you like,
and just reminds us. And you're right, staying in the Word, just staying focused on Him instead of what's going on around us. Because the stuff that goes on around us is usually not real. It's not truth. It's fear. It's enemies feeding us stuff. We're, and so you're right, to go back to the Word, to go back to what He's saying, and which like keeps us back grounded, keeps us focused on leaning into Him and what He wants for us.
That's really cool. Like, so I don't know if I told you this Sunday I'm getting baptized.
You haven't been baptized?
No.
Oh, okay. I love that.
I haven't been baptized. It's been on my heart for like the past like 6 months or so. Like I'm like, oh, I should do it. Like so, and then we happened to be like having a baptism Sunday, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
Perfect.
So I'm a little nervous, but it'll be good. So Jevin's gonna baptize me, and a mentor of mine, Angelina. So they're gonna be on either side of me. But I am excited for that, because that's another way of like, for me personally anyways, like the reason why I'm getting baptized is, one, obviously I want to like live for Jesus and I love Him, but like also I want to like, I guess like proclaim to God in a way of like, I'm trusting you, like, and I want to like give you everything, and I'm done like trying to like wrap my mind or like around things that I don't understand or the fear of the unknown and stuff. Because like I'll like sit and get in my head about things, and I'm like, I'm just like done doing that, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
Right. And you're proclaiming to everyone in the world that you know, this is what I've chosen, and
it's just like another affirming step or whatever. But I also really like that Streams in the Desert. You see that over there on the bookshelf?
Yes. Okay.
It's a devotional.
Oh, okay.
I know y'all can't see it, but Streams in the Desert, so good. It's a devotional, and Jevin's mom, so my mother-in-law, gave it to us for our wedding gift.
Aww.
And I love it so much.
Nice.
It's like, I'm not very great at reading my Bible. But I'm pretty good at like opening up my devotional because it's easier for me when I have like, you know, start to end. I'm just not really good at books, but I don't know. I really like the way it's like structured. I don't know. And it's always like super like, wow, I needed that. But anyways, it's a good book, Streams in the Desert.
I like that.
Very good devotional.
Reminds me of Hagar in the desert, and when God revealed the stream to her, her son Ishmael, and reminding her who she is and what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's good. That kind of goes in. Do you have any like stories from the Bible that that you like relate to or you like?
Oh God, you know that,
or that are like super powerful.
Super powerful. Well, we're kind of talking about faith through adversity and things that have happened. I think for me, I've got a few. For me, going into talking about the last, you know, with Mike's health, these last few years, kind of talking about the faith with my faith going through all of that. And my prayer when Mike got sick in 2022 was that God would keep me faithful, of course, and just to continue to be hopeful and faithful, but to keep joy.
Yeah.
And it makes me cry.
It's okay. Yeah, that's really important. I feel like you've done such a good job. I mean, obviously I haven't been there for everything, but like just showing up to things and like, I don't know, you're just such a joy to be around too. So it's like super powerful.
But thank you. And these are like joyful tears. These aren't like sad, but so my prayer was always to keep some joy in there, because I'd heard before, like, joy is when no matter what's going on around you in your life, whatever turmoil or challenge or trial or what have you, that if you still have joy, that's the most important thing. That it's different than happiness. Happiness is like, oh, I bought new shoes or I bought a bag, I'm happy. But joy is to stay joyful. No matter what's going on. And that has been my prayer. And I think about, and we're talking about people in the Bible, and I think about Rhoda, which she's very, very small character in the Bible. I believe it's Acts 12. And Peter, the disciple, has just been imprisoned. James, one of the disciples, has been martyred by King Herod, been killed. He's the first martyr of the disciples. And so Herod, Passover is happening, and it kind of is interesting because of the political stuff that we're dealing with now in our country. But even then, the people of that time, Herod, they were really against the Christians, and we had just come out of a time of a lot of conversions and stuff happening prior to that. And so Herod, he slayed James, and then took Peter and put him into prison, it says. And that he was, he's already seen what God has done with Peter already, getting him out of jail and all these miraculous things. So he decided that he loved how the people loved it, because he was, the king. So he loved it. So he's like, I'm going to save Peter for after the Passover happening. And so it says he had four guards take him, puts him in prison. He's, chained to 2 other guards because he's freaked out that someone's going to come and get him. And so he's in prison, and after the Passover happens, and the people leave, and so he's going to kill them because it's going to make these people happy.
Yeah.
And so Mary, down the road, it's kind of that's just what's going on there. But down the road at Mary's house, there's a little servant girl named Rhoda, and she's in there serving people. And at the time, the Christians at that time were gathering at Mary's house and praying. And they're praying now because Peter's in jail and they want to get him out. And they're trying to, they're asking God for a miracle. These are people of faith just asking God to get Peter out. And Rhoda is a servant girl. She's serving people. She's working for Mary. And they say she's probably like a young girl, probably 15s, 20s, somewhere in there. And she is just serving people, like raisin cakes or day cakes, whatever they had back then. But I'm just imagining her and serving these people, and they're all these people, and they're praying for this miracle, these people of faith, and praying. And go back to the prison, an angel of the Lord comes, shines a light in, and says, Peter, get up quickly, which also cracks me up, because God can make people sleep for a very long time, but it was important. Get up quickly, put your clothes on, let's go. Yeah. The chains fall off, he gets them up, and Peter's thinking, oh, this is crazy. Am I in a dream or a vision? Like, he can't even comprehend what's happening. The angel walks out. It says the gate opens. He walks out, and they get down the road, and then the angel's gone. And so Peter takes off. He's going to Mary's house. Yeah. Gets to Mary's house. People are there praying this whole time for God to do a miracle, to get him out. And so he's knocking at the door, and Rhoda goes to the door, but she doesn't open it. She hears Peter's voice. And she says, Peter, it's Peter. He's at the door. And she's so excited. And she's so excited that she forgets to open the door. But here's the thing. The Bible says that she is full of joy. During a time, and her joy came from, she heard Peter's voice. But I truly believe that was, her faith was so strong that there was still joy in there, and still faithful that God was going to do something big. Yeah. And she knew without seeing Peter that he did something big. Yeah. She goes running back to the people, and they're praying, and they're like, no, that can't be him. It's got to be his angel. And then they even said to her, are you crazy? You must be nuts. Like, you've got to be crazy. And it wasn't until they actually went and opened the door and saw him that they were believed. Yeah. And I think of that story, and I think of Hannah being Rhoda. That's like who I imagine is being that. But I think of that, and it's just a little tiny bit in Acts, and I think about her, and why Luke put that in there was to show us that, even a little bit, even though they didn't have a whole bunch of strong faith, but they had a little bit of faith that God still answered the prayer. But I think about her, not even, she's running around serving people, but I'm sure she was praying in that whole time too. But she just knew, and she was filled with joy, and that is how I want to live going forward. And that's how I think I've lived going through some of the stuff that Mike and I have gone through, is to have that faith, but have it with joy. And does that mean that every day has been amazing and awesome and not hard? No. There have been really hard, dark days. Yeah. But we can't stay there. Yeah. And I think realizing that part, that, God understands what that feels like. I mean, think of Jesus in Gethsemane when he was going to be crucified, and he's in the garden, and he's like, take this from me, I can't do it. And when you're in those dark places, but he said, God's will be done. Yeah. Right? And so you can feel yourself standing there feeling like, oh, God, take this from me. I can't get through this. We don't want to deal with any of this stuff. Right? But I think of that. I think about Jesus knows what that feels like. He knows what it feels like to not want to do the hard things.
Hardest, or does it? He's not going to give you something that you can't handle. Yeah. Yeah.
And I always think of that. And I go back to over a decade ago, before Mike got sick. That was hard. When he got burned, and he was in Harborview for 31 days, and his kidneys were failing at that time. Yeah. And I think, man, that was so hard. And I just think about all that stuff, and I think, how on earth did we get through it? Yeah. And of course, I know that it was God and having faith in him. And then this happens, And this is really hard, right? That he needs a kidney. His kidneys failed so much, he needs a kidney. And someone's going to have to give a kidney. I mean, it's a huge thing to ask someone for a kidney.
Yeah.
You don't want to ask anybody that. But, and I think back to like, he won't give you anything that you can't handle. And it's like, I don't want to say this was easier, but in some ways this was easier than the first time we dealt with his health, because I knew without a doubt that God was going to answer the prayers and we were going to get through this. Whether Mike died or lived, I still was going to trust Jesus, and knew that he had a plan one way or another. And there's just no way I would ever doubt that, even in the dark stuff, even in the days when I did have some days after he had the kidney transplant where I was just like,
because I know there was like ups and downs with that.
Yeah, total ups and downs, and then not knowing. You have faith and you know, and then of course your mom. So when Mike needed a kidney, a whole bunch of people stepped up. Your dad and Jim showed up at the hospital when Mike's, we knew.
And Amanda was there too, or
Amanda was wanting to donate a kidney as well.
Oh, okay.
But I kind of want to go back just a little bit to kind of explain. We knew at some point Mike's kidneys would not last forever. But we were hoping it'd be a long, long time, and it was over a decade. And when this changed, and they'd been watching things, but when it changed, it went hard and fast. Like it was like they were gone. And so he needed a kidney, and I had kidney stones, so I wasn't able to donate my kidney. And then your mom stepped up, and Kevik, your dad, and my sister wanted to. My two sisters wanted to. Amanda. A couple of his friends, and Marta. I believe Marta went through the testing process first and was first, and she said, "I want to do this." And it was like, I think she did it because I couldn't. And I cry every time, not from sadness, but happiness. And I can't not tell the story without crying. But and I feel like she took a bullet for me in a sense, because I couldn't do it. She wanted to be the one to do that, not because she didn't love Mike. She loves Mike, but she loves me too. And so that's like a huge thing, and we'll never forget it. And that's something you don't even know how to thank somebody for that. And so anyway, going through, Mike was very sick. His first dialysis didn't work, so we ended up having to go back to a different dialysis. He was hospitalized. We weren't sure if he was even going to live. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's true. And there was just a lot of things, but my prayer was always to stay hopeful, to stay faithful, and every day in my Bible, and knowing people were praying for us. And we were so blessed to have so much family to be such encouragement to us, you and your siblings, and my sisters, my parents, and my mother-in-law, and our friends who love the Lord, and the people of the church, and just a lot of people. So we're thankful for that. But you still, every day, have to set a mindset of how to keep going. Keep going. You got to still go to work. You still have to take care of your animals. You still have to take care of your house.
Like day-to-day things.
You still have to do a lot of things. And so during this time when Mike's kidneys had failed and we were going through all the dialysis the whole couple of years, there was just a lot of things that weren't going the way that they should have went, and the way that we wanted things to go. And so there were just a lot of questions where I would just be like, Lord, Mike is the greatest guy in the whole world. Why does this have to happen to him? Or why can't things just go a little easier today? And you know, I think that's perfectly normal and human to say that.
To question that.
And but you know, we have a Heavenly Father who knows what that's like. We knew, like, going back to Jesus living on this earth when he lived here, that he knows all these feelings and these emotions.
I think about that all the time, and actually was just reading, I think, in my devotional the other day, and I sent it to our family group chat, and it was, I can't remember what verse they had mentioned, but it's mainly just talking about how, like, Jesus walked this earth and he went through the unimaginable and he suffered the most. Like he knows what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And pause, intermission. I need to find it, what I wrote down, because it was so good. It was just like one of those times like God was just like speaking through me and I was like typing.
I love that.
I was just typing. And then I reread what I wrote and I was like,
dang,
okay.
I'm wise.
I'm wise.
Wise
It was just like so good. I was like, where is it? I found it. Okay. And this is all true, but oh yes. Okay. So I was talking to a friend of mine who goes to our church and she's young. She's like 29. She's been married for a year and she's going through stage 4 breast cancer. And I was talking to her and we were just talking. And so I texted a group chat and I said, a friend of mine who is battling cancer told me today, God is so near. Our pain only drives us closer to him. And I just love that so much. I was like,
that's so true.
Especially, I mean, she's going through cancer and she just started chemo and her faith is just so inspiring. But it's just so good. Like, God is so near. Our pain only drives us closer to him. And I said, people question why there's pain and suffering in the world, aside from the reason of it's not a perfect world. I think there's also suffering for this very reason, to bring us closer to Jesus. Selfishly, people think pain and suffering is God punishing us, but it's not. It's to bring us closer to him. God knows suffering more than anyone. Why wouldn't you want to be closer to the person who understands you the most? And so I wrote that.
That's so true and beautiful.
Yeah. It was just like so powerful. And it was like, when my friend had told me that, like, God is so near, our pain only drives us closer to him. And it's just like, if there's someone here on the earth who understands you to a T, like, and like has walked through all the suffering you've walked through, like, no judgment, no shame, like, understand, like, why wouldn't you want to be close to that person? And it's just, I don't know. I love that so much.
It's so true. And it's kind of like finding encouragement from other people who've been, like we do here. And they say it outside of the Christian, the biblical, the faith belief. They always say, find somebody that's been through what you've been through. But you're right. We've got somebody who's ultimately been through the suffering and the hard stuff and the questioning and all of that, way more than any human would know on this earth, and that's encouraging. And it's really powerful for sure. I know, because we've lived it. I think we've all lived it. And I think when you stay grounded, like what you wrote, and stay thinking about that, I mean, it's hard to think that way. It is hard to think that way. And when you're going through something like that, you have nothing else.
Especially
when
nothing
else to lean into.
And I always, like, if I have one thing to tell people, like, especially after going through, like, POTS and getting diagnosed with like a physical thing and it affecting you, and especially being in the dark of like not knowing what it is, and then intrusive thoughts like, am I dying? Am I there's like so many things,
much unknown.
So much unknown, and so you get in a really dark mental state, and it really, like, it's brought me so much closer to God, because it's like he's all I have, like, to understand me the most, and like he's what I have to lean on. And I mean, Jevin's been a great sport, but obviously he's not God. But so it's just been really great. And then it's just like, you don't, like, if I had one piece of advice to give to people, literally, like, don't take for granted your health. Like, don't, like, and I know, like, there might be better advice things out there, but that's my advice to people. Don't take for granted your health, because it's like,
anything can happen.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that I would be where I'm at. Like, 3 years ago, if I'm sitting, like, say you're me 3 years ago, I'm like, you're not drinking caffeine, you're on medication and you've been through this stuff, and like, I don't know, she'd be like, what? Oh my gosh.
You're talking to yourself then?
Yes. As if you were me, like 3 years, like,
right.
3 years ago. And like, if I was sat down and had coffee with me 3 years ago, she would be like, wait, what? You don't drink caffeine anymore? We drink caffeine every single day. And wait, what? You're having all these like body symptoms? I feel perfectly fine. Nothing's wrong with me. It's like, I don't know, like, it's just crazy. Like, growing up, like, I think sometimes I like mourn the body I used to have, and I have to, like, you know, learn to what's it called, accommodate or whatever. And like, I can still do things, and I talked to like my counselor about this, and like, I can still do things, I just have to like accommodate or whatever.
You're navigating things a little bit differently with your body than you did before. Because now you have to think about it. You have to think, you know, if I do this might affect my body in some way. If I drink this caffeine, it's going to affect, you know, it's something you never had to think about before. And for you, I mean, I think about, you're right about the health thing, like, don't neglect it. And first, you know, you think about, for you and other people who get cancer or all of these different things, those aren't things that you've done to you. These are things that have happened to you. And I think about people who do take for granted their health and do it in such a way that's self-inflicted. Right? And, you know, it's kind of like, but
it's just like, oh, why are you doing that?
Like, you know, this is bad. But, you know, it is frustrating when you're living a pretty darn good life, and then something like POTS or cancer or kidney disease or any of these things that happen to us, and it's just like, oh, we just don't think that.
It's like, you don't think about it until it's gone. Like, unfortunately. Or like when it got like really bad in like January, February, March, or it was like end of March. That's when I had my tilt test, which like determines if you have POTS. And I passed out and like blacked out, and that was the first time I ever passed out too. So I was like, you know, a little, you know, on edge from that. But and then like, as soon as I woke up, getting told that I need like a pacemaker and stuff from my doctor.
That's traumatic news.
And then a week later, my grandpa died, and it was just like, so I don't have a pacemaker, and apparently I don't need one anymore. But which was still also like, well, okay, what? But so like, those two traumatic, like, I need a pacemaker, and then a week later, or then a day later, I saw another cardiologist, and they're like, you don't need a pacemaker. And then 5 days later, my grandpa died, and it was just like all these like health and death and like things just like, and it put me in a really dark spot. And I was like really struggling, and I started having panic attacks, and my symptoms got worse because of this stuff. And that's when I like started diving, like, I started praying harder, and just like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes those things can like draw you away from God. Like, God, why are you doing this to me? But I never got to that point. Like, I'm sure there was points where I was like, you know, like, why, you know, like, we're human. We're going to be like, oh, why me? Or cry about it, or, you know, have a breakdown. Like, those are all normal things. But like, I never got to the point where I was like mad at God or like anything. It just drew me like closer to Him.
No, just exactly what you said. But I think that's because your faith has grown and it's stronger, and you've, you know, and we want to have hope in Him. There's nothing else. There's no one else. We don't want or can't. We don't need to have hope in man. That's for sure. But those dark times are, I think, normal. I mean, even for me, when Mike got his kidney, I felt like going into that my faith was so strong, and then I'm kind of going into what you're talking about, going into a dark space with your diagnosis, where for me was when Mike got his kidney, I had a prayer. My prayer was to God, right going into his surgery, was,
don't let it snow. It's January. It's winter, right? I'm like, don't let it snow.
Yeah, I remember
Don't let me get sick. And let Mike's kidney work. Let's just make
just
this,
those 3 things.
Just 3 little tiny things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. It's, you parted the sea you've done so many things. Like, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, this is how it's going to be. We're going to go into that. And then it's January and snowed in Seattle. Never snows in Seattle. Very rarely. And then I got sick. I got a bad head and chest cold. Bad. And they thought I probably got it at the hospital. So I'm in a mask. And then Mike's kidney has surgery. And it didn't work.
Yeah, it was like...
It didn't work. And so then days later, and I'm just like, man, like, Lord, why? This, like, couldn't you have just just 3 things?
Yeah.
That's it. Not a big deal. We've been through so much. My poor husband has been through so much. And then I just remember just being so frustrated. And then they said, well, we're going to have to go back in, open up the surgery.
And see,
do a biopsy, see if this is going to, see what's happening. And I remember being in the waiting room, and I was crying, and there's people in there, and I've got a mask on, snot, it was awful. And a lady who calls me, there's 2 different teams. You have a team that goes in first for the kidney part that gets you to the kidney transplant. Angels, all of them.
Yeah.
And then you have a second team when you have post-transplant.
Okay.
So they get you checked out, they go over the post-op. So she calls me while Mike's in the second surgery. She's like, hey, this is Amanda. How are you doing? I just wanted to go over the post-op stuff before Mike gets out of the hospital. And I remember I was like, I kind of got angry with her. I said, what are you talking about? This isn't working. This kidney's not working. This is not going to work. Why are you even talking about this right now? And I'm so upset. And she said, and she said, Heidi, I want you to just leave she just stopped. And she said, hey, I understand. She said, I want you to leave the waiting room. And I want you to go upstairs to Mike's room. He's fine. He's in surgery. He's in good hands. Go upstairs. I just want you to leave the surgery waiting room, go upstairs to his room. So I go upstairs to his room, and it's quiet. It's just me. And she had sent in the lady from the nurse that took care of Mike and I through the whole process to get to the surgery.
Okay.
She was still there. She sent her to me, and she sat for me for like 30 minutes, just talked to me, listened to my crying, just, all this stuff. Wow. And she's like, Heidi, Mike's going to be okay. Do you think you should go home? And I'm like, no, I shouldn't go home. And then after the surgery, a surgeon, and then the doctor came in, and he said, hey, obviously I'm a mess. I'm sick. I'm just been crying. Yeah. It's just been kind of frustrating. And his surgeon said, he said, Heidi, I want you to go home. And I want you to go home to your dogs, go home to your house, sleep in your bed, take a shower, because I had to stay in a hotel there for 3 weeks. And I just want you to go home and just get out of here. Mike's fine. You won't be able to see him until tomorrow anyway. So I did. I went home reluctantly, but I did. And I remember when I got home, in concrete, there were 5 inches of snow, 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground. And I remember sitting out on my couch, looking out my window, and this was my dark stuff. That I went in, I just like, God, I only asked for those 3 things. Why isn't it working? And at that time, I wasn't even thinking it was going to work. Yeah. That we're going to have to go, it's going to go have to back on dialysis, go back on dialysis, go back through fighting someone to do a kidney thing, just all of it all over again. And I just said, why? Why couldn't you? I said, I love you, but why couldn't you, why couldn't you have just made this work out? And I was just so mad. Not mad at him, just mad, that frustration. And I know he's okay with us coming to him with that frustration, because he's the one we should be going to with that. And so I was, crying. I got in the shower that evening, and I'm washing my hair, and I heard a voice, and not like the audible voice, but I heard a voice in my head talking to me. And it said, Heidi, do you love me? And it was such a realness to it that I actually stopped, because it startled me in the sense of like, that was something in my head talking to me that said my name. And I just said yes out loud. Yes, I love you. And then I was like, gosh, I'm so stressed out right now. I must be crazy. Like, I must be like hearing stuff that I there must be something going on. I've only told this to Mike and my mother-in-law, this story, and I think to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I got out of the shower and I was just on the couch and I was just praying, and it's like, yes, Lord, I love you. I trust you. I do. And I think of like Peter. Yeah. He betrayed Jesus 3 times, and Jesus came back to him. Not that this is a whole situation like that. It's not, but just let him tell. I knew that he was telling me that sometimes I think we hear those things because I was in such a state of just that I think I was just in a state where I was ready to hear that voice say to me in my head, Heidi, do you love me? Because and then, yes, Lord, I love you. Then trust me.
Yeah.
Go back to your husband, tomorrow. Take care of him.
Yeah.
Things are going to be fine. Just get yourself back together and go forward.
Yeah.
And that was probably the darkest part that I got through the whole entire thing. And I never lost any faith or, oh Lord, I'm so mad at you that you didn't do this for us.
Yeah, it's just hard,
It's just, you just get to a place. But for me to hear that, and I needed that at that time, was something I needed. But there was such a sense of just peace after that. Like, okay. And I went back to the hospital and things hadn't changed. And of course, at that point, by then, it didn't matter if it was snowing or if I had a cold or whatever. But, Mike was really upset, and we just said, can we go back to the hotel and just stay at our room? They left his catheter in, which is so we could see if there was urine, and got back, and we just prayed and said, Lord, you've got this. We know that. We know that. And whatever happens from here on out, you've still got control. And we're just letting it. And then a few days later, it started working. Just started working like it's supposed to. And I just feel like you're right, leading into the pain, you have to. And I'm just blown away by God's goodness, because He is so good. So even good. in the dark stuff, even in the hard stuff, He's so good to us. And we're thankful, because I think about this friend of yours who's sick, and you hear their stories, and you're so encouraged by their faith. Yeah. And I know Mike and we had a couple, when we were going through this stuff, they were going through way worse. And not that everybody's, everything's valid in that sense of how we go through things, but he eventually died of his sickness. Okay. But to watch them in their faith, and they had come through a marriage of a separation, a divorce, but got back together and got through God restored their marriage. Then he got sick. Wow. He got saved, he got sick, and then he died from his cancer. She ended up with breast cancer before she knew, before he died. But to watch, and then she went through the chemo after he died. She went from something really hard to restoration, something really hard again. And then when you're grieving your husband's loss of your husband, and then she's got breast cancer, but to watch this couple go through leaning into the hard stuff, such strong faith and hope in Jesus, that it was such an encouragement to Mike and I. Oh. And I feel like when I hear that, and I hear her say that I hope that, what an encouragement she is, and glorifying God through all of this. Yes. And that is something that Mike and I hope that we've done through all of this. And we know that this kidney's not going to last forever. It may not. It may last the rest of his life, but it may not. But we're just living day by day and letting God just take care of us, because that's what He does. And I'm thankful. And one thing, I have studied the Bible so much. It's been like I've had my face in it for over a decade, but the last 3 years has been like this brings you closer. It does, and it's a beautiful love story for me and for you and for everybody. And what it says on the side? Yeah, a love story. I love that. And I just have to, this is like, and I think about people, and I think, man, everybody needs a Bible. Yep. Just to hold it, because there were nights I just didn't even read it. I held it. I love that. And how long have you had that Bible? So probably 10 years. Yeah. A lot of tears in a year. Oh. But I watch people with like the digital stuff, digital Bibles, which is fine if that's what you want. But
I love
like you gotta have a tangible.
Yes.
You gotta hold it. You gotta hug it. I
need a. Well, I mean, I don't need a new one. I mean, a Bible's Bible, but it's like a teen study Bible.
Oh, yeah.
I've had since my mom got it for me when I was like
a teen.
I must have just turned 13 or something. But it says, to Sierra by Marta Rensink, aka your mom. April 9th, 2015. I love you very much.
And they're hard to get new ones.
Yeah, so
it's hard to get new ones because you put so much into the ones you have.
Yeah.
And it's like it and you've underlined and put notes in it and
yeah, this one's like it's a study Bible, so it has these questions, which I really like.
Nice.
And stuff, but I also like the ones that have the where you can write on the side.
Like the journaling Bible?
Yeah, the journaling. I want one of those too.
Yeah, I want a journaling Bible too. Like, because I've done the page, like my own journal stuff, but I would love one.
To write.
Like, and then it just becomes this big fat Bible.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Right? Yeah, so I encourage everybody to get brick and mortar Bible. Like get one that you can hold. And the funny thing is, I love to read, but I have a Kindle, so all my stuff goes on a Kindle.
Oh, yeah.
But I know there are people who have to have a book; they have to hold it, But the only thing that matters to me is in the Bible sense. Like the Bible is on my Kindle for when I travel, but when I'm at home, the only thing on my Kindle is just my books that I read.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I want tangible is my Bible. And there's some books I like that are like
you do Audible, like when you're driving, do you listen
to the Bible
books?
Or just books?
Or
sometimes I mostly do podcasts and stuff when I'm commuting, but no, I love
Bibles
my Bible.
Are so nice.
Everybody should have one.
I know if you go to what's it called? It's like the main bookstore. It's like something Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble. I'm not a book reader. I don't read books.
No, it's not.
So I'm like, what's it called? Barnes and Noble. They have a lot of Bibles, though. Actually,
yeah,
I love that they sell Bibles.
I haven't been in Barnes and Noble for years. They closed the one in Bellingham, so.
Oh yeah, but Barnes and Noble, they have a lot of
a good
Bibles.
Selection.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That I love that they do.
Yeah.
And I watched a video of like a girl's like, I'm getting my first Bible. I'm going into Barnes and Noble, and she just got a Bible from Barnes and Noble. Nice. Anyways, so you just don't see like Bibles on the shelf, like at stores. So I think that's really cool. Yeah. That you can just pick out a Bible, not to order it.
It's very cool. And they probably have lots of different ones too.
Yeah.
So I love that. But yeah, I feel like having someone to encourage you while you're going through the hard stuff is good. Someone that loves the Lord is and I stand firm on that. Make sure it is someone who's a believer.
Yes.
And and that's another thing I've changed in my life. My friendships, they have to be believers. Yeah. The intimate friendships I have, they have to be believers. And I have people that I work with or people, but I want people that I can go to and say, will you pray for me? This is happening in my life right now. Mm-hmm. Pray for me right now. Like that. And I've had to kind of let go of some friendships that I was a little bit closer to, but I have to, with life, you have to nurture the ones that are going to grow you.
That's true.
And so.
Yeah, that's really true. I mean, I didn't start getting into like my faith really until it took moving out and meeting girls like in Bellingham that I lived with. Yeah. And that like
getting out of the space you had at your high school.
Because I didn't really have any like Christian friends really. Yeah. And so it took me moving out and meeting Christian girls. Yeah. Who I'm like, whoa, okay, so
and it makes a difference in your life, in your friendships, and how you live your own life.
It made me build this relationship with them and with God, and
I love
Christian friends get a Bible and Christian friends.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you what you were drinking.
What am I drinking? I know. And I even brought this the last day of summer. My pink cup, yeah, water.
Water.
Nothing
Me too.
exciting. I
It's
give up
always
caffeine
water.
too. What are you drinking though? Is that is that chai?
Oh yeah, this was a decaf coffee from this
decaf.
morning. So it's pretty much probably watered down now, but yeah, it's kind of watered now. But it's from this morning. It's decaf.
Yeah.
Yep. Always decaf.
I wanted to share one more thing about joy and faith. You know, James 1:2-3, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds, because you know the testing of your faith produces perseverance.
Oh yeah.
That is another verse that goes through my mind when I'm going through stuff. But it's not like, yay, we're going through hard stuff. But it's just like, because you're going to keep, because as we get to live this life, we're going to hit some hard things. But to remember that the testing of our faith grows up perseverance, that we keep going, we keep hoping, we keep following where he's leading us and trusting him, because that's the most important thing. So
that's so true. That's really good.
Yeah,
you're a good podcaster person.
I know I'm starting my own podcast.
But you
Should
are?
we plug it? Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember a few years ago, but I wanted to do a thing where I interviewed ladies and heard their stories. But I never thought of it in a podcast way. But it's called Keep on Trusting. Keep on Trusting with peace.
I love that.
Back to the days of the 70s when the Jesus Revolution.
No way.
Yeah.
What's it? Let's
Keep on trusting.
Keep on trusting.
Coming to you December of 2025.
Wait, I'm so excited now.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yay. We're 2 podcast girlies, I guess.
Yay. You inspired me to actually do it though. So thank you.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love your podcast.
It's so fun. I love sitting down and just talking to people and hearing their stories.
It's the only time people get to talk about themselves and what's going on in their lives. Yeah.
That is very true. I like
to sit at the feet of other women or other people to listen to what they have to say, to be encouraged by it. It's a pretty amazing thing. Everybody has something to say and something beautiful, and they've been through some stuff. And a lot of stuff we don't even know about.
It's encouraging for other people to hear too, because then they can be like, whoa, wait, I'm going through that. Or if it's like something, you went through and that person's going through it, it's like, whoa, okay, they made it out the other side. Or I don't know. Yeah. It's just good to hear.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And I think too, kind of going back to what we said before, was you going through all the hard stuff and you've got people in your life and and you hear their story, then it makes you, okay, they went through that, like you just said, basically, but stay leaning on the Lord. So keep leaning into his word and keep reading and stay faithful. Get into a good church, surround yourself with people who will help you get through this as well. Because life is hard. It's hard already. I don't know how people can get through it without hope.
Yeah.
And without Jesus and without the Bible.
We weren't meant to be alone.
No, that's for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
I love you. I love you too. See ya.